Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the MyHeritage webinar today, Enriching Your Family Tree, Photos, Records, and More. Just a little bit about MyHeritage for those who might not know. We are the global family history network on the web, and we're a place for families to discover, share, preserve their family histories online with family trees. We have over 75 million people around the world and over 5 billion historical records to search and discover your family history. We offer free family sites where you can build your family tree and stay connected and in touch with your family. We have a free software, Family Tree Builder, which is an easy-to-use family tree editor that you can build your family tree on your desktop and sync it directly with your online tree. We have Super Search, our online search engine for global historical records, where users can search through our treasure trove of over 5 billion historical records from around the world. With the MyHeritage mobile app, you can edit your family tree, add photos, and preserve your family history in the palm of your hand, on the go, anytime, anywhere. We also have innovative matching technologies that help accelerate your family history research by providing profile matches and historical record matches for your relatives without having to search yourself. Our webinar team today consists of Esther Schumann, the U.S. and Canadian Community Manager, and myself, Emma Datney, the UK and Australian Community Manager. Getting the most out of your webinar, to make sure that you have the best listening and visual of the webinar, you should close and pause any unused programs on your desktop, turn up your speakers or use headphones, open the webinar's control panel, and have a pen and paper handy to take notes, especially for the discount code at the end of the webinar. In the web panel, you'll see that you can type in any questions, or you can raise your hand, and we'd like to welcome any questions and comments throughout, as we'd also like to try and answer them live at the end. Without further ado, I'm going to pass it over to Esther, who will be starting, and enjoy.
Hi everyone, thank you for joining us again, and thank you Emma for the lovely introduction. I'm going to start by discussing enriching your family tree, photos, records, and more. MyHeritage family sites are really very special. They allow you to collaborate with family and friends, share family moments together, discover and edit your family history, connect with those you love, and above all, preserve those special family memories so that you have them for future generations. Our outline for today's webinar is the following. We're going to be talking about personalization of your family site, inviting family members to your site, photos, videos, and audio files and how to upload them to your family site, adding dates and biography information, sources and citations, and of course, MyHeritage technologies such as SmartMatches and record matches, and how they can add value to your family site. So let's begin. First, we'll talk about personalizing your family site. There's the option to update the welcome message that you have on your site. And this is a great thing to do so that when your family members come to visit your family site, they see that it's your site and they feel really welcome to come and to add information to your site. So, for example, if you have an event coming up, such as a family reunion or a family wedding, it's great to write to them and write that on the welcome message so that anyone that visits your site will see any updates. It could be anything from a special relative that you're looking for, more information about a certain side of the family tree that you'd like, anything like that. It's a great place to update so that everyone that visits your site will see. So in order to do that, you go to, on the top right-hand side of your family site, you'll see the option Site Settings. And under Homepage, you'll see the Welcome Message option. And there you can just edit the welcome message, and underneath that you'll see the option to update the image for the welcome message. So that's also a really great place to personalize your family site. If you had a new birth, a birth recently in your family, then you'll be able to put an image there of the birth. You could put a picture of a recent family reunion, something like that to make your family feel welcome. Another option under Other is to personalize how you'd like the photos to be displayed on your home page. So you could choose to show photos from just a specific album. For example, if you had a recent family wedding, you can show everyone that comes to your site the pictures from the wedding. You can also choose which family tree. If you have multiple family trees, you can choose which family tree will be displayed and who will be the first person that will show up in that tree. Now we'll discuss inviting family members to the family site. This is probably the most important thing for anyone to take away from this webinar. It's how easy it is to add more family members. The reason why this is so important is because the more family members that you add to your family site, the better it will be for everybody. If you have research to do with your family history, then the more people you have involved that are going to be helping, the more productive you'll be in your research. You never know where that little hint or clue is going to come from. It might be a second cousin who invites somebody else, tells you about another cousin, and maybe they have that long-lost photo that'll help you find a clue and break down that brick wall that you have in your family history. So to invite family members to your site, all you have to do is go Home, Invite More Family, and there you'll see a list of everyone in your family tree. And you have the option to add an email address to invite them. You can sort that list by first name or last name in order to find someone more easily. This list will only have people that are already in your family tree. But you might have other cousins or relatives that you don't know how they're related to you, and they're not in your family tree yet, but you'd still like to invite them to your family site. And if that's the case, then what you can do is just scroll to the bottom, and you'll see the option, Want to Invite People Who Are Not Listed Here, and you can choose to invite other people manually. When you do that, you'll have to add in, if they're male or female, their first and last names, and their email address. Now, we get this question a lot to the support team. If couples, husband and wife, can use the same email address. Now, an email address in MyHeritage is actually a place card for a person. And anytime that you log in using your email address, we'll recognize you as a certain individual in the tree. And we'll also show how everyone is related to you as that specific person, which is why couples cannot use the same email address, and everyone needs to log in with their own email address. Make sure to check permissions for people that you've invited to the site. So you could do so by going on the right-hand corner of your site under Site Settings, and under Content, you'll see the Permissions tab. Now, these are people that are family members and that you've invited to your site. So we suggest that you allow them to post content to your site and to see the different sections of your family site. The more collaborative, the more permission you give your family members, the more information you're going to be able to glean from them. Now we're going to be talking about adding photos, videos, and documents to your tree. Photos, videos, documents, they're really the media that you can add to your tree that will bring it that extra color and vibrancy that will really attract people to appreciate your family tree, especially the non-genealogists. I think pictures are worth so much that I think family members that are not genealogists will see images of people in their family, it really will bring back many memories and really make them feel connected to the tree. So it's a great thing to add. We recently updated the way that you can add photos and videos to your family site, and it's now easier than ever. So no matter where you are on your site, you can just scroll to Photos and click on Add Photos and Videos. A gray screen will appear over whatever part of the family site that you're on. It'll appear on top of it, and you'll have two options. You can either drag photos and videos onto the screen, or you can click on Select Files to choose them, to browse and choose them from your computer. Here I've chosen 12 photos, and you can see that when you choose to add photos in this way, you can choose a photo album to add them to. So on the top there it says Destination Album, and I've chosen Family Tree Photos, but I can choose a different photo album even after it's finished uploading them. Or I can choose the plus sign and create a brand new album. And the photos will upload very easily and very quickly, and especially with this new improvement that we've done to the photo section. The photos, it's very easy to upload many photos at a time. Now, if you upload photos from the profile, it's a different type of uploading, and these ones will be associated directly with the person that you're uploading them for. So before we went from the photos section and uploaded photos and videos that way, now we're going to do it from the profile. So if you're looking in the family tree and you click on somebody's profile, you'll see there's a photos section, and in the photos section there's a little gray box with a plus where my arrow is pointing there. And if you click on that, then you'll have the option of adding photos directly to that person. So here, if I click on that, I'll add photos directly associated to John F. Kennedy. So here I've uploaded 4 different photos, and you'll see at the top now there's no option to put them in a photo album because these photos are added directly to the profile and they're automatically associated with John F. Kennedy, and they don't go into an album. Now I'm going to talk about adding dates and extra biographical information to your tree. Adding dates is really important because adding information, exact information like dates, will give you more opportunities to find information about those people in your tree. The more exact details like dates that you have, the more chances there are that you'll get information such as record matches or SmartMatches, which we'll talk about later, with your family tree. So dates are really, if you have them, they're very important to add to the tree. As well, another thing that adding dates will do, for living people, if you add dates of births or marriages, they'll be added to your calendar and you'll receive event notifications. It's a great way to keep your family involved in the family tree and the family site. I know that my family, they really love getting birthday notifications. Nowadays, it's only too easy to forget all the birthdays and anniversaries in the family. So if you add the birthdays and marriage dates into your tree, nobody will have to remember them. So to add extra profile information to the tree, click on a profile like we did before. You can click on John F. Kennedy's profile, and you'll see in the bottom left there's a little pencil, and you can click on that pencil, and there you'll see a lot of different information that can be added. So I'm going to go through them quickly to show you where you can add the various information to make each profile more rich. So in the first Essentials section, you'll be able to add basic information such as gender, names, birth, death dates, and places. Under Family, you'll be able to add marriage information or relationship information and dates and places. Under Biography, you can add any stories or extra information that you don't know where to put in other places. So if there's any legends or rumors that have been told about this family member, this is a great place to put it to preserve that extra biography. Contact info, I skipped over. It's not really relevant for deceased individuals in your tree, but for anyone that's living, you can add phone numbers and addresses and contact information, email addresses that you have for that person. Under Work, you can add any work information that you have. Education, the same. Favorites. This is really good if you have family members in your tree that you'd like to know more about, so you can ask them to go in and add this. Personal information. Here we have source citations. So Emma is going to talk a little bit more about this later when she talks about sources, but this is just any time that you cite a source in your tree for that individual. And at the bottom, you'll see the option All Facts. And you'll have the opportunity here to add any random fact. There's a whole list of facts that you can add for that person. I'm now going to pass over to Emma, and she'll continue discussing sources and citations.
Hi everyone, just to add a bit about sources and citations as Esther just mentioned before. Sources are basically the records, what you have, the historical records, anything you find, photos, documents that you have of your ancestors or your relatives or yourself. And the citation is very important because it evaluates and makes it credible and gives a great way to assist in further research having those citations. So it's very important to reference all of the records that you have. And I'm going to show you now how you can do so on MyHeritage. So you can view all the sources that you have, which are the records, by clicking on Family Tree and Sources. As you can see, you'll see all of your sources there. And if you'd like to add a source, there's a few ways to do this. One is directly from the record itself if you found one on SuperSearch. And the other way is by adding the source through the source button. If you have more than one family tree that you're managing, you can choose which tree to add to. Once you've clicked on it, a light box will pop up and you can add the source information. Sometimes you might have a record or a photo on your own computer, such as this. This was a birth certificate that I had. So I wanted to add the title, and you can put a description. You can write any other information that you might have. And at the bottom, you see that you have an option for photos, to add photos, audios, or documents of the source. And this is very good if you have any old family photos that you want to add as well, or old documents that you might have that are online and you can scan them and upload themselves and source them and cite them to specific trees and profiles. Once you've added the photo, just choose the file and upload it. And then as you see, when you go back, you'll see that the birth certificate is now listed. And if you notice, you have the option to view, edit, or delete the source if you hover over it. And as of now, there is no citation. So I just want to show you how you can add a citation, which is basically the reference. If you go back to your family tree and to your profile, as Esther showed you before, you can click into the settings. And this page, which you might recognize from earlier, underneath, you have underneath all facts, you can choose to add a source citation. So for example, I wanted to add a source citation for the birth. And once that happens, you'll find a drop-down menu of all of your sources that you have saved. So, and then you just click on birth certificate. And then now it will show that this has been cited to John F. Kennedy. And you can choose, once again, to edit or add it or delete or do any additional editing to the source. And you can also eventually cite other people if it's a marriage certificate or if it's a U.S. Census record source that you might have. You can cite other family members and relatives that will also be in that record itself. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about our technologies, about confirming SmartMatches and merging that information from matches into your family tree. For those who don't know, SmartMatches are basically automatic matches that you get notifications that find new relatives or ancestors from millions of family tree profiles, and it's a great way for people to discover and for you to discover family and relatives and ancestors that you might not have known on when you find a match from another tree. If you have a smart match, you'll get a notification in your mail, but you'll also be able to view on the top left corner the smart match button. Once you click on that, you have the option to view your smart matches by family trees. These are the trees of other people, or by the person itself. Sometimes it might say that you have a whole tree which will have different profiles. Sometimes it might just be one or two people that, that you have a smart match with. Once you click on it, you'll be taken to the page of the pending confirmations of the smart matches, and you can choose to either review, confirm, or reject the match. I'm going to show you just how to review the match. If you know 100% that that's what it is, you can confirm it straight away. If you know that it's someone that's not in your tree, you can reject them straight away. But once you review the match, this is, it will open up with the box, and it will tell you what, on the left-hand side, who's in your family tree, and the corresponding profile in the other family tree. Here, and then you have the option to copy and edit any details from one family tree to the other. And often there's times that you might be missing a place of birth or a date of birth. So if you choose to copy and date, you can pull any information from the family tree to the other, to your own family tree. And this really enriches you with more information that you might not have had and can put you into steps of direction into new research. Once you've saved those changes, you have an option to confirm the match. And you can also then send a message to the person who owns the family tree or to the other, to the profile of the relative, and invite that member to be part of your family site. And this is a great way to connect with people that you might not have known were relatives, and it's a great way to connect to those relatives and stay connected with your family and learn more about and learn maybe even about other sides of your family that you might not have known. This is just to show you how it will show on your screen afterwards. There'll be a green tick showing that you have confirmed that match. And once again, you have the choice to review that match. And just another way is that you can view it by people. So like I said, originally you can view by family tree, or you can view your SmartMatches by people. And it will come up with a very similar screen. You can choose to view the matches. And once again, you can copy and edit the details and pull over any information that you might not have had. Now I'm going to talk about saving record matches and extracting that information. Record matches are similar with a similar matching technology, but they automatically find matching historical records to people in your family tree profiles. And saving these records, you can save these records directly to your family tree as well. Similar to the SmartMatches, on the top left-hand corner, you'll be able to view and confirm the record matches. And it will take you to a similar page where you can view your record matches by collection or by people. I've chosen to view this match of Jackie O, and it is a newspaper article. And once again, you can also choose to confirm or reject it, or review the match and see the full record. It will take you to once you've checked that, it'll be able to take you to the full record. As you can see, you can zoom, make the record bigger, and you can confirm the match. You might see also at the bottom of this page a thing that says Record Detective Results and Related Records. Record Detective is this breakthrough technology we have that basically brings new leads to the user, to yourself, by turning one single historical record, such as this Albine Reporter newspaper, into a door of more related records. As you can see, there's some pictures, there's a tombstone, and we're offering you, just from seeing this one record, a link to find more records and find more information and sources for the family tree profiles. So once you've confirmed, you'll be given up with a screen that says that the match was confirmed and that you can now extract information from this record to your family tree. This saves the information from the record to your tree, and you can copy, as you see here, the source citation directly to your family tree and add any other information that you might have. And you can choose to save it to the tree. Another thing I wanted to show you about saving records is if you've gone into Super Search and you've just been searching for a record and you've stumbled upon something such as the U.S. Census, and you want to save this specific record to someone in your family tree. In this case, we've searched for Mary Fitzgerald and in the U.S. Census, and it's popped up. So you have the option to save this record directly to your family tree. Once this is open, it will say that you've saved this record to Mary, and then you can extract the information. This is similar to merging information, but you basically should see that underneath birth and underneath place, it says different. Well, and underneath residence, there's new information. So any new or different information you can copy over into your family tree, and you can either choose to copy it all at once, or you can copy bit by bit, and if something is not relevant, you don't need to copy it over. And now we have even a new feature, relatively new feature, which is not only extracting information from into this specific person, which is Mary, but you can extract information for other relatives that you have in your family tree. This is very useful when you have a marriage certificate or a census record, which often lists more than one person, and in your family tree, and then you can add this information to them. And oftentimes you can stumble upon one of these records and discover that they have an extra sibling or information about their husbands or wives or parents that are also in these documents as well. So it's choose to extract this information from others. It will show you a list of who you can extract information from. And you'll be able to scroll down, and for example, John is in the list, and you can choose to extract from the people that are in your family tree the same information that's listed in the records. You also have the option to extract all information from the list in one go, and then save the information directly to your tree. Another nice feature is that we have on the side little photographic bubbles that will pop up and that you can hover over and easily access those specific people that will be related to that record. So you don't even have to scroll down, they'll be shown on the left-hand side. I would like to pass it back on to Esther, and then we'd like to take any questions that you might have.
Thank you, Emma, and thank you to everyone who's joined us for Enriching Your Family Tree, photos, records, and more. We're now going to give a present for everyone that attended our webinar today, a 25% discount on MyHeritage family sites. And now, from listening to today's webinar, you all know how to make those sites extra special and vibrant and colorful. And if you use the code FamilyTree14, then you'll get a 25% discount on a Premium or Premium Plus upgrade for your family site. It'll be valid for the next 2 weeks until the 2nd of October, 2014. Now we're going to see if anyone has questions. So first I'm going to read a couple of questions from people that don't have microphones and asked us to ask their questions for them. So first we're going to answer David's question. David wanted to know, are family sites private, and can people who are not invited to your family site access the site? So that's a great question, David. It's always important to make sure that you've checked your privacy settings so that you know exactly what's going on with your family site. So I'm going to tell you all how to do that today. The best way to do that is to go into the right-hand corner of your site, and under Site Settings, you'll see the option Access and Content for each one of your family sites. It's going to be different per site. So if you have more than one family site under your account, often, for example, a family will have one for the mother's side and one for the father's side. So it's important to check the site settings for each one of those accounts. And to see the privacy options, you have the option to make the site completely private, where only the people that you've invited to the site will even be able to find it. So make sure that you check out the settings for your site and make it as private as you'd like. We're now going to open Rita's microphone. She had a question for us. Hi, Rita. Are you there?
Yes, I am. I currently subscribe to MyHeritage, and I get SmartMatches, and my match is on the left, and the other person's is on the right. And I can see that they're trying to match me up with a person that doesn't match, but I can see the correct match maybe down 1 or 2 slots on the right. But you know, I have to reject the match. Basically, they're asking me for, but I'd like to, you know, they're not asking me to match up the right one. I don't know how to ask them. No,
I think I understand. I think I understand what you're asking. SmartMatches are 97% accurate. But obviously, especially when you're dealing with family, with many different family members that have similar names, mixed information, it does happen sometimes that you'll have the wrong people matched up with a match. So, for example, it could be that I've been matched in another tree with my sister and not with myself, or something like that. It does happen. So basically, in cases like this, at this point in time, the best thing to do is just to reject the match, because it's not a correct match, and there's no way to actually fix it and say, no, I'm not matched. I don't want this person to be matched to this person, but match them with the person below. So at this point in time, there is no way to do that. But there are many improvements in smart matching that are actually coming. We're always improving the algorithms, and hopefully over time you'll see less and less of those types of matches.
Okay, thank you. I mean, it's just so obvious that the two matches that they're putting in front of me are not even close, but the one below it is almost perfect. And I think, how can that be? I so want to match up mine on the left with the one below on the, because it's a perfect match. But
right.
You're not asking me to match that one. So.
No, I totally understand, and it can be frustrating, but the matches are getting better and better all the time, so stay tuned.
Thank you.
Now we have a question from Judith, who asked me to ask it for her. She asked about duplicates. How to remove duplicates or how to merge duplicates. So on your family tree, there's oftentimes that, especially if you're doing a lot of research and you've got a lot of people and different trees, that an individual might be entered twice by mistake. So you can merge those duplicated cards using the Connect Remove Connection feature. And you can, basically what you have to do is go to the card that has the least amount of information, the profile that has the least amount of information, remove its connection to the tree until it's left alone. And then you can delete the card by choosing to delete this person. This is another way to do it, and you can also merge the information between the two profiles together. We have some more information on our blog and our help website as well that shows screenshots as well how to do this yourself. So feel free to also check that out at www.myheritage.com/help.
So Iris had a question that she wanted to ask. She said, are there MyHeritage users in the Barbados? So actually, there are MyHeritage users all around the world. I thought that's an important question, just so that you realize how global MyHeritage is, and that's what makes it so amazing, because you can get matches with family members all around the world. We offer our family tree builder software is in 40 different languages, and it's used by people all around the world. So yes, we do have MyHeritage members there. We have MyHeritage members practically everywhere. So do we have any other questions? We have a question. We have a question about syncing your family tree. When doing SmartMatches using Family Tree Builder, it shows available to do SmartMatches. It seems to update. Sorry, somebody's asking about SmartMatches in Family Tree Builder on the software, and how those relate to SmartMatches that you have on the family site. So at this point in time, they're not 100% synced, the SmartMatches that you have in Family Tree Builder versus the SmartMatches that you have in the family site. And we suggest confirming and rejecting SmartMatches and merging information directly from your family site. And then later you can just sync your tree from your family site to the Family Tree Builder.
We have a question actually from James, who's going to speak. I'm just going to unmute you, James. Hi, James.
Hi.
Would you like to ask your question again?
Oh, okay. I had some matches that could be very important because they may link me to someone which would allow me to be eligible for the Mayflower Society. How do you verify that these are correct? You know what I'm saying?
That's a very interesting question, James, and I'll answer just like this. First of all, Emma and I are not genealogists. We're not expert genealogists, but I think most genealogists would say you'd have to find a source from the person who you were matched with. So on MyHeritage, you can confirm a SmartMatch, and then you can actually contact the other site manager who has that person in their tree and get more information about the person who would have been on the Mayflower in your family. So I think that's the best way to go, to try and get more information from the other site manager, the person that you were matched with, and see if they have records and more information that will help you be certain that that person is your family member and was really there at that time.
What if the matches come from Wiki or GenCom or some of these other sources?
Oh, from the Wiki tree or the genie.com?
Yeah.
It means that there have people profiles that might be connected. So a great way to do is to outreach to the site managers where you found these profiles, and then you can start connecting with them, and then ask them how you guys are connected, how there's the relationship, and it's a great way to see what sources and citations that you have as well.
And also the issue should be that an early match might have pointed me in that direction, so the early match might be the one that's most important to verify.
Oh, definitely. I think that the most important thing is just to gather as much information as you can, and I think to rely mostly on sources and citations to verify those matches. So I don't know exactly how much information is necessary, but definitely as much as you can collect, and it might mean, you know, taking it offline and researching historical figures just to get any more information that can verify it more.
Right. Well, I have put in a request to apply to the Mayflower Society, so I'm sure they will come back with some questions.
Oh wow, it's really fascinating, and it's an incredible discovery. We actually have a few user stories on our blog that were recently posted, where MyHeritage members also discovered connections with the Mayflower. So I suggest you go and check them out. For anyone that didn't hear before, our blog address is blog.myheritage.com, and you can see in recent user stories MyHeritage users that have found connections just like you have. So a little inspiration if you'd like to see what they did in their research.
Also, feel free to just write in the questions your email address, and we can try and find some more information for you from one of our expert genealogists who'll be able to answer it and maybe help you to go into the right direction about where to verify those sources, or maybe specific records that you should be looking at as well.
I also joined the New England Genealogical Society, I believe it is, and they have a lot of information, but I live in Arizona and I have to wait till next year when I go back to New York to visit Boston.
Oh wow. Well, it sounds like you're definitely doing your homework and working hard to try and make sure that you get the right answers. So that's incredible.
Plus, it's helpful that my whole family came from Massachusetts after they came over from Europe.
Well, thank you so much for your question. And now we're going to see if we have any more questions from the audience, if there's anyone that wants to ask live.
We have Lori that wants to ask a question. One moment. Hi, Lori.
Okay, hi. Is it possible to make a grandfather a son? In other words, both of them are named Johann, and the dates are different. I inserted the dates without looking as well as I should have, and now I want to make the son the grandfather. Or I should say the grandson, not the grandson. Is that possible to switch it around without deleting?
Actually, you have two options. So either you can just edit the information for each one of them to correct it, or another option is to actually use the feature that Emma was talking about earlier, which is the connect and the connect feature. So under each person's profile, you can basically detach them from all of their connections, from the parents and children, and then you can reconnect them in a different place in the tree.
So there is a disconnect then?
Yes, exactly. And you can learn more about that feature if you search for that under the help section. So if you go to www.myheritage.com/help, you'll see there'll be more information about it and how you can disconnect and then connect them again in the right places.
Okay, great. Now, I have another question about managing trees. Can you break down a large tree by surname? In other words, I have placed too much information without breaking it down by surname.
So there is a way to take a full family tree on a family site and to split it into smaller trees. But the problem is I don't believe that can be done by a surname split. For example, I don't think you can say anyone with the surname X will go in this tree and anyone with the surname Y or other will go into a different tree. But you could read more in the help section about splitting a tree into smaller trees also. There are directions there. You may have to manually choose who goes in the smaller tree that you're splitting off.
Oh, okay. Now, I also noticed that in charts area where you give options of processing charts, I would like to be able to just print a very simple list of ancestors with birth dates and death dates. No photos necessary, something that won't take up a lot of extra space. Is that possible?
Yes, of course, of course. Under the charts section, we have many different options, and some of them are more elaborate and people that want much more information and photos. And there are basic ones as well. You just have to go there and try it out. There's different types of charts also depending on who you want to show in the tree. So you could do an ancestors chart. You could do a descendants chart. You could do one which is called an hourglass, which will show a central person.
But all those take up so much space.
So
you know,
you could also choose something called a close family chart, which will choose the close family members of a specific person, and you can choose which person to choose. So I believe it will show a few steps. So if I chose if I did my close family chart, it would show my parents and grandparents, children and grandchildren, and siblings, I believe.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and the thing about charts is you can just play around and make a whole bunch and see which ones you like. You know, there's no limit as to how many you make, so have fun with it.
Thank you.
No problem.
We have a few questions that are just talking about confirming matches and if you need to transfer all that information over or not. So just to reiterate, if you choose to confirm a match and you want to save the record and extract the information, you have the option to take over any of the information from that record or profile. You don't need to take all that information, or you can choose to take all the information. It's just suggested at the side if it's new, improved, or different information, and it's your choice whether you want to add that to your family tree or not. So you have control over that.
Okay, I think that's the amount of questions that we have time for today. But if anyone has questions, you can write to us at webinars@myheritage.com. So please make sure to get updates on MyHeritage. You can visit our blog, blog.myheritage.com, and we'll actually be posting a recording of today's webinar there as well in the next couple days. So if you'd like to review all the information that you heard tonight, rewatch the webinar, make sure to stay tuned to our blog. Make sure to like our page on Facebook, facebook.com/myheritage, and follow us on Twitter @myheritage. Thank you everyone for joining, and any questions for support, you can contact support@myheritage.com. Any comments or suggestions for future webinars, please write to us at webinars@myheritage.com. Thank you so much for joining, and have a nice day. We got a lot of emails about